We are living in strange and unpredictable times at the moment, and this uncertainty can leave us all feeling anxious, stressed, and trapped. Some people with learning disabilities may find it difficult to verbalise how they are feeling, and as such they may display behaviours that challenge as a way of expressing this. Positive behaviour support is currently considered the best practice approach to supporting individuals with a learning disability who present with complex and challenging behaviour. This video will look at some of the reasons behind why people may display behaviours that challenge, particularly in this current climate, and how the positive behaviour support framework can be used to support people with learning disabilities who are displaying behaviours that challenge in order to improve their quality of life. A person's behaviour may be defined as challenging if it puts themselves or those around them at risk. Behaviour can also be defined as challenging if it leads to a poorer quality of life or impacts a person's ability to join in everyday activities. Challenging behaviour can include, but is not limited to, physical aggression, verbal aggression, self-injurious behaviour, and destruction of property. Many people with learning disabilities thrive under structured routines and predictable environments. The current COVID-19 pandemic and subsequent lockdown restrictions have meant that the routines of many people with learning disabilities have had to be altered, which may have been highly distressing for them. For example, day services and respite facilities for people with learning disabilities have closed, and community facilities such as leisure centres, shops and cinemas have also shut, leaving huge gaps in the lives of many people with learning disabilities. They may also be used to seeing family or friends outside of their home on a regular basis, but this has also had to stop for the time being, which is yet another change for people with learning disabilities to contend with. The use of social stories and easy read material, as well as the other videos we have created, can help people with learning disabilities to understand what the coronavirus is, why their usual activities have been postponed, and why they're being told to stay at home. Yet some people may still find the current situation distressing and difficult to comprehend, which could in turn lead to an increase in behaviours that challenge.
Positive Behaviour Support, or PBS for short, aims to find the meaning behind a person's behaviour and to support them in learning new and more effective ways in which their needs can be met. This in turn may reduce the person's behaviours that challenge and improve their quality of life. PBS is a scientific behavioural approach which puts the person at the centre, involving them and their entire support network in creating a plan on how best to support them. A PBS plan will predominantly focus on proactive strategies to promote physical and mental well-being and to minimise distress. Proactive strategies are preventative strategies used on a daily basis to ensure the person remains well and happy. For example, this could include a daily timetable or communicating with the person in a way that is meaningful to them on a continuous basis. PBS plans also include strategies on how to support someone when they show early signs of distress and when they are displaying behaviours that challenge. These strategies focus on keeping the person and those around them safe in the least restrictive way possible. It may not be possible to create a full PBS plan for someone with a learning disability at this moment in time. However, this video will look at some of the possible different functions of behaviour and share some examples of proactive strategies which may help keep the person you're supporting safe and well in this current time of uncertainty.
All behaviour happens for a reason, and behaviours that challenge are no exception to this. When someone is displaying challenging behaviour, it is important that their carers try to determine the reason or function behind this behaviour. While some people may be displaying behaviours that challenge in a response to the changes that the COVID-19 pandemic has brought upon their lives, it is important to remember that there may be other reasons why someone is showing challenging behaviour that are unrelated to the coronavirus. It is important to consider the following.
Could the person be in pain? Could they be constipated or have a UTI? Do they have any other physical health condition which may be causing them pain? If you think this may be the case, then contact their GP as soon as possible to discuss this with them. Does the person have any pre-existing mental health concerns or emotional needs that could be intensified by the current climate? Again, speak with the person's GP in the first instance if you are concerned about this. Could the person be hungry or thirsty but unable to verbally communicate this to you? We have been experiencing hot weather recently, and it is important to consider whether the person may be dehydrated. Could they be too hot or too cold? Is there something else they want or need but are unable to ask for? Does the person have an unmet communication need? Is the person trying to avoid something, such as a particular environment or a demand being placed on them? Does the person have an unmet sensory need that is causing them to display behaviours that challenge? For example, someone with hypersensitivity to noise could be shouting and covering their ears. This could be a way of them saying that their environment is too noisy for them. It is important to ask yourself the following regarding the person you're supporting. What are their likes and dislikes? What makes them anxious? What helps them to relax? When are they most and least likely to display behaviours that challenge? Having this awareness will be useful when thinking about ways to support the person, as it may give you some ideas on what activities or environments are either calming or anxiety-provoking for them. It is advised that you speak to the person you support and others who know them well when thinking about these questions. We have created a number of videos for people with learning disabilities to support them in keeping well during this current time of uncertainty. We have also created additional videos for carers like this one, offering advice on how to support people with learning disabilities during the lockdown and beyond. Some of the suggestions I'm about to make are linked to one or more of these videos, so we would recommend watching these too for further guidance and ideas. We would also recommend encouraging the person you support to watch the videos made for people with learning disabilities if you think it would be appropriate. Although the person's timetable may have changed due to the coronavirus, it is important that their day-to-day living is still structured. Having set times for meals, activities, personal care, and phone calls with family and friends will make the person's day as predictable as possible despite the current lockdown. This in turn may reduce the person's anxiety and subsequent behaviours of concern. Please see our video entitled How to Plan My Day for further information on this. Although some of the person's community activities may have been cancelled, think creatively about how these can be replicated at home. Take the cinema, for example. This could be replicated at home by getting the person to pick a DVD to watch. The curtains could be drawn to have a similar effect to being in a dark cinema theatre. The person could also make their own cinema snack boxes and drink to have whilst watching the film. If you are feeling really creative, then you could also support the person to make their own cinema ticket or movie poster. See our video entitled Boredom Busters for further ideas on activities to do around the home during lockdown. Despite best efforts, the person you're supporting may still become worried and anxious, which could lead to behaviours that challenge. When you first notice that the person is becoming anxious, you could try to engage them in some relaxation techniques to reduce their arousal levels.
We have created different videos for people with learning disabilities, guiding them through relaxation and mindfulness activities, which you could watch with the person you are supporting. We have also created a video for carers on how to support someone with a learning disability when they are feeling anxious, which you may find useful. Lastly, it is important to look after your own well-being as a carer. In order to support someone effectively, it is important that you consider your own physical and mental health during the current pandemic. You can find more information about this in our video series for carers. You are already doing so much to keep the person you support safe and well, and to keep any distress at a minimum during the current lockdown. The strategies presented in this video may not work for everyone, but we hope to give you some additional ideas on how to support someone with a learning disability who is displaying behaviours that challenge during the lockdown period and beyond.